Exactly.
Look at venture capitalists.
Yeah.
They invest in multiple companies, hoping that just one
will pay off and
pays
it'll cover
off.
up the rest. Yeah. You mentioned looking, further in the future, not being so, driven by the quarter.
Short term, yeah.
Yeah. And it reminded me of, it was actually Jeff Bezos that said this. And, was talking about how you build a company. And people always ask him, well, what do you look to build your company out? Like, how do you know what's going to change? Like, how do you do that? And I think his response was, in a nutshell, it's like, that's pretty much not, I get asked that all the time. That's not the interesting question. The interesting question is, what's not going to change? And that's when you want to work with people who are long-sighted. They are building something around like the fundamentals of things that won't change or that have a slim possibility of changing.
Yeah.
And that's assuming we don't get any changes in the IRAs. That's what we're trying to do here is work around a proven model that changes slightly, but not a whole lot. And you can build a long-term portfolio or income based off of that.
Right. And like in our, what we invest in, our fund puts money into, they're short-term loans. So people would say, well, is that long-term thought? Well, yeah, it is, because the way we love our short-term loans, the reason why we love our short-term loans is because we have the ability to right the ship should anything happen outside the market. And gosh, do things happen outside the market? Yes, every day. So we like the ability to be able to change whatever direction we're in. Because we're in short-term loans, we can easily do that by changing our products.
And think about, like, we switched from higher end properties to more affordable properties.
Made a huge difference.
And then also this year we have not really switched, but because our loans are such short term, we were able to allocate more money into emerging opportunities like new construction, storage facilities, apartments, industrial conversions, stuff like that, because fix and flips, there's not as many as there used to be.
That's right.
But if we were in longer term stuff, we wouldn't have been able to correct that in such a short time period.
That's right. That's right. It makes a huge difference for us.
Well, investors, and in this case, we'll make the jump over, or the leap over to borrowers. A borrower wants certainty long term, and the problem with the companies are you're locking yourself into a long term contract,
right?
Where things change over time, and you need to have that flexibility to be able to maneuver based on the new information.
That's right.
So what banks have done, typically commercial banks, on the commercial side, is that you always had to have a balloon in those loans, or back in the day, because I've been doing mortgages for a long time, back when they first invented electricity. We had a
was that when they were fighting over alternating current versus correct?
we didn't have balloon notes. We had call option notes.
Yeah,
where
every 5 years
or 3, you can set it up anytime, any way you wanted to.
Yeah.
But at the end of a certain term, you had the option as the lender to call the note due, modify the note in case the rates went up, or leave it the same.
Yep.
And that way it protected the lender from market changes.
Right.
And at the same time, you're not really telling the borrower that they have to requalify for the loan.
Yeah.
Now, again, they still have the option to call it due.
I'm not seeing those kind of loans out there anymore. Are you?
I did one of those about 5 years ago, and that's the last time I've only done one, and it was.
Well, I think it's a great tool. And
it
still should be out
there. It is a great tool.
People aren't using
it. They'll probably come back. Well, because everybody's doing what everybody else is doing right now with the non-qualifying lenders out there. They have to compete with each other because those rates are so good.
Well, and rates have been falling for so long. I mean, a call option. Now, there's other reasons to do a call option besides just an interest rate adjustment. There's all kinds of things that can happen in the market. But the rates have been going down for so long. I think from the interest rate side, it probably didn't make sense to do a call option. Now that we think the forecast is
To go back
they're going to
up.
go back up, I
Mhm.
think they're probably going to make a lot more sense for a lot of people.
But unfortunately, it seems like the lenders that are out there, the big popular strong ones, are the last ones to make the changes. Doesn't it seem that way?
It's hard to turn a cruise ship.
You're right.
Well, here's another
You're
thing.
right.
They've been talking about changing the index for the arms for how long?
You mean from having it depend on one measurement to another,
Yes, because
like
the
from the
LIBOR
LIBOR?
was manipulated, what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Or maybe even longer than
Are they
that.
still using that?
Everyone's still using the LIBOR.
Not
as an
everyone,
index.
but most, yeah, pretty much all.
And-
Well, most of them. Not all.
And
Not
what's
everyone,
gonna-
but all of
Well,
them.
most of them. They use that, or they'll use Prime.
Yeah.
You know, one
Yeah.
or two.